Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Bit of a special treat tonight. If you guys remember, a few weeks ago we were looking at, I had a vintage copy of Christmas Carols, old and new, and in the back of that there was an advertisement for this book, which is National Nursery Rhymes Set to Music by J.W. Eliot. And it's illustrated by the same illustrators that did the Christmas Carol book. And it looks to be bound in about the same quality. You've got a bunch of nursery rhyme characters here on the cover, all around the edge, gilding with real gold, some more nursery rhyme stuff there, and then a repeat of the front cover without the gilding here on the back. But altogether, fairly nice copy. It's a little bit the hinge is a little bit worn, so I'm not going to split it open completely here for the first few pages. But yeah, we'll take a look. Once again, gilding on the cover, on the edge of the pages, and these pages are once again they're very thick, so it's you have to like make sure that you're getting them one at a time here. So there we go. So National Nursery Rhymes and Nursery Songs, set to original music by J.W. Eliot, with illustrations engraved by the brothers Dalziel. And that's the reason that I wanted to pick up this copy. And I'm going to look and see if I can find anything else by them that looks interesting to bring to the channel, because I'm just fascinated by old books as well as nursery rhymes, folklore, fairy tales, all that kind of stuff. And so this is like right up my alley. And then to have it illustrated as well with like proper woodcut printing, like it's very nice. So I'll just look here. Voice part, staff notation, and tonic sol fa in 3 books, piece 8D each. I don't even know what 8D is. London Novello and Company Limited, New York, the H.W. Gray Company, sole agents for the USA. So I guess this is a US copy. And we'll start at the top here. I guess that's Hickory Dickory Duck. The mouse ran up the clock, right? The birds and the bees. I'm not even going to recognize all of these. And actually, before we begin even going through all of them, I should just mention, like, one of the reasons that I like to show this kind of stuff is because so often now in modern times and modern parlance, we hear the idea that, oh, we live in an English speaking country, or this is an English, English this and English that. And oftentimes, as somebody who's studied quite a bit of Old English, I just have to look at them and kind of scratch my head because I'm like, really? You want to include all of this? this is this is what we're gonna do because you might not be prepared for some of the things we're about to see. You might not be aware that these are also part of the record. So just wanted to kind of point that out from the funny perspective that I like to look at things as an adult. It's kind of interesting sometimes to hear the arguments that people make in modern days about English. Someday I'll have to read you guys some old English, and then you guys will really trip and see what we're up against. They didn't even have rules for how they spelled things. It was just sound it out, make whatever it sounds like. Just put some letters down. Could be a V, could be a U, could be a W. I don't know. Maybe we'll put an I, or we ran out of S's on that page, so let's put a T. It just whatever we have to do, right? English, English, with all the rules in English, right? Where it's so consistent, such a consistent language made out of, German, French. Oh, good. Yep. 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 Perfect. Okay. I will cease my diatribe or my diversion. And we will continue here. But yeah, just like let's look at some history. Let's look at some things that used to be like, everybody knew this stuff. Or like if you considered yourself, educated, you might have a book like this in the past, right? And you might, know these things, right? So we'll go through here. Preface. The present the present volume is intended as a contribution to what may be justly considered a not unimportant department of our national song literature, the nursery rhymes, namely, which seem appointed by tacit and universal consent to be said or sung, and to be listened to with unwearied interest and appreciation in those great national institutions in the British nursery and home schoolroom. How's that for a sentence? To all who are interested in the selection of books for children, the book is now offered by the publishers with the hope that it may gain general and extended approbation. Especial pains have been taken to secure the suffrage of that still larger public in petticoats and knickerbockers, whom a genial English writer of the last century, who loved children and spoke and wrote of them with infinite tenderness and affection, describes as masters in all the learning on the other side of 8 years old. These might be some of the best sentences I've ever read. Oh gosh. If it be true, as asserted by one of the greatest of English critics and authors, that Sir Roger de Coverley and Mr. Spectator are more real than 9/10 of the heroes of the last century, and that almost the only autobiography to be received entirely without distrust and disbelief is that of one Robinson Crusoe, mariner of York, then surely those important personages, Jack and Jill, Humpty Dumpty, and My Lady Wind, are real and distinct entities in the mind of every little child whose nursery education has not been entirely and unwarrantably neglected. And therefore it has seemed good to the publishers to present to the children of the present day the adventures of those heroes, embellished with whatever pictorial illustrations, careful selection, musical accompaniment, and the advantages of artistic typography and detail can contribute to render them more acceptable to all English children. Let me just catch my breath real quick. Whew. In the arrangement of the musical portion of the volume, especial care has been taken by Mr. Eliot to keep the songs strictly within the capacity of children's education and the compass of children's voices. In his own family, he has found a young jury ready to test the various tunes, and has composed only such melodies as were likely to meet with prompt acceptance, and be easily remembered. The pictorial illustrations of the book have been designed under the superintendence of and engraved by the brothers Dalziel. Among the old favorites, a few new aspirants to popularity will be found, but it is hoped that their presence will be considered an additional attraction, and in no way lessen the pretensions of the present volume to be considered a compendium of the national nursery rhymes. So basically, it's got all the good ones that he could put into it, and he found the ones that his kids liked. So it should be a pretty good selection here. So I'll read through what we have as we go through, and I'll let you look here as well at the illustrations, which is why we're all here, really. Come on, like, that's just so nice. Contents. Mistress Mary, quite contrary. Jack and Jill. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Baa Baa, Black Sheep, Dickory, Dickory, Dock, Ding Dong Bell, Pussycat, Where Have You Been, 19 Birds, The Child and the Star, I Had a Little Doggy, Little Bo Peep, Dolly and Her Mama, Ride a Cock Horse to Banbury Cross, Little Maid, Pretty Maid, Whittington Forever, Little Jack Horner, Tom the Piper's Son, Seesaw, Marjorie Daw, ABC, Tumbledown D, Goosey Goosey Gander, Little Jumping Joan, There Was a Crooked Man, Poor Dog Bright, Humpty Dumpty, Simple Simon, Sing a Song of Sixpence, The Nurse's Song, Six Little Snails, and it continues. The King of France, My Lady Wines, The Feast of Lanterns, Is John Smith Within, When the Snow is on the Ground, Three Little Mice, Little Tommy Tucker, The North Wind Doth Blow, The Man in the Moon, Taffy Was a Welshman, Hey Diddle Diddle, I Love Little Pussy, The Old Man Clothed in Leather, The Old Man Clothed in Leather, The Old Man Clothed in Leather. There we go. My mouth's a little dry, guys, sorry. Pearly Locks, The Lazy Cat, Three Children Sliding, The Jolly Tester, Georgie Porgy, The Three Crows, A Little Cock Sparrow, Maggie's Pet, The Death and Burial of The Death and Burial of Cock Robin, Lullaby, Mother Tabby Skins, The Spider and the Fly, and The Thievish Mouse. Words by M. L. Eliot. The illustrations engraved by the brothers Dalziel. We got a little monkey and a little Irish setter or Scottish terrier playing a drum there. And I'm just going to put the book down for a second so I can take a drink. Sorry. Sorry about that. Just, it's a lot of reading all in one go. But here we have Mistress Mary. Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With cockle shells and silver bells, and fair maids all in a row. And it has music. So this is like a lyric song book, right? And this is for Jack and Jill. With the hill and the pail, right? Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after. Up Jack got and home did trot, as fast as he could caper. Went to bed to mend his head, with vinegar and brown paper. Jill came in, and she did grin, to see his papers plaster, or his paper plaster, his paper plaster. I guess his paper bandages. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You guys all know the words to Twinkle, Twinkle. I'm not, But just to have a really nice copy of them, you know? And this copy didn't actually cost me that much. Baa Baa, Black Sheep. Somebody's not very happy in all their finery, right? Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. One for my master, and one for my dame, but none for the little boy who cries in the lane. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. But very nice clock, you know? An illustration with the mice. Ding Dong Bell. There's one I've never heard of before. Let's read it together. Ding Dong Bell, pussy's in the well. Who put her in? Little Johnny Green. Who pulled her out? Little Tommy Trout. What a naughty boy was that to drown poor Pussy Cat. That 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 sounds potentially naughty in and of itself. I'll just leave it at that. Here we go again. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London to visit the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there? I frightened a little mouse under her chair. There we go. The words are slightly different than some of the versions that I know. So that's why I'm trying to read the book, but also my brain's going in other directions. So that's why I'm kind of skipping up a little bit. But 19 birds. There's another one I've never heard. 19 birds and 1 bird more. Just make 20, and that's a score. To score, then add but 1, and that will make just 21. I don't know what that means. Right? There must be a meaning to that, right? It looks like there's continuing. Now add 2, and you will see you have made up 23. If you like these clever tricks, add 3 more for 26. Then 3 more, if you have time. Now you've got to 29. 29, now quickly take. Add 1 more, and 30 make. Now you guys got to time. That's a riddle and a half, man. Okay? Put that one out onto the YouTubes. Okay? Who can solve that riddle? What are the 19 birds? Right? I have no idea. Right? The child and the star. Little star that shines so bright, come and peep at me tonight, for I often watch for you in the pretty sky so blue. Little star, oh tell me pray, where do you hide yourself all day? Have you gotten a home like me, and a father kind to see? Little child, at you I peep, while you lie so fast asleep. But when morn breaks, or when morn begins to break, my homeward journey take. For I've many friends on high, living with me in the sky, and a loving Father too, who commands what I'm to do. That's actually really beautiful. I don't know how old that is, you know? But the little star, you know, the morning and evening star, the star that you pray to in the morning and the evening, that rises before the sun and sets before the sun, or sets after the sun. It's like It's the herald and the light giver, the light breaker, light bringer, and the light taker, or whatever it is. There's many names for it. I won't go into all of it, but just that's a prayer right there. That's a beautiful one. I had a little doggy. I had a little doggy that used to sit and beg, but doggy tumbled down the stairs and broke his little leg. Oh, doggy, I will nurse you and try to make you well, and you shall have a collar with a pretty little bell. Oh, doggy, don't you think you should very faithful be, for having such a loving friend to comfort you as me? And when your leg is better, and you can run and play, we'll have a scamper in the fields, and see them making hay. But, doggy, you must promise, and mind your word to keep, not once to tease the little lambs or run among the sheep. But then the yellow chicks that play upon the grass, you must not even wag your tail to scare them as you pass. Aw. That's very cute. Wow, there you go, guys. Little Bo Peep. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and can't tell where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them. Little Bo Peep fell fast asleep, and dreamt she heard them bleating. When she awoke, 'twas all a joke, a cruel vision so fleeting. Then up she took her little crook, determined for to find them. Was What was her joy to behold them nigh, wagging their tails behind them. So I guess she didn't have to look for them, because they were right there. Okay, just making sure I'm not skipping a page. Dolly and her mama. Dolly, you're a naughty girl. All your hair is out of curl, and you've torn your little shoe. Oh, what must I do with you? You shall have you shall only have dry bread, Dolly. You shall go to bed. Do you hear, miss, what I say? Are you going to obey? That's what mother says to me, so I know it's right, you see. For sometimes I'm naughty too, Dolly. For sometimes I'm naughty too, Dolly dear, as well as you. But I mean to try and grow. All mamma can wish you know. Never in to passions fly, or when thwarted, sulk and cry. So, my Dolly, you must be good and gentle like me. Perfect. I think there's two there. Okay, yeah. Now this is some of these I've heard before and some of them I haven't. This is like one that I've definitely heard before. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. She shall have music wherever she goes. Little maid, pretty maid. Little maid, pretty maid, whither goest thou? Down in the meadow to milk my cow. Shall I go with thee? No, not now. When I send for thee, then come thou. Is she picking up? Is she hitting on him? Or is he hitting on her? I don't know, man. I can't tell what they're doing in this picture. there used to be games that they would play where everybody would chase after one person with a ball, but it looks like they're hats. It looks like everybody's throwing their hats. So I don't really get it, you know? It says Whittington forever. Whittington forever, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Lord Mayor of London, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. It's a bunch of hurrahs. I guess it's just a song for the mayor. So maybe that's something in the mayor's history. Could be. Little Jack Horner. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner, eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Jack's got it made, man. Bada bing. Tom the Piper's Son. Tom the Piper's son stole a pig, and away he run. The pig was what? The pig was ate, and Tom was beat, which sent him bowling down the street. Great. Seesaw Margery Daw. Seesaw Margery Daw. Jack shall have a new master. He shall have a penny a day, because he won't work any faster. Jesus Murphy. That's an interesting picture. They look almost like horseshoes, but like as the letters falling out of a cabinet with what looks like a cat, but could be a dog up at the top. I don't know. A B C tumble down D. A B C tumble down D. The cat's in the cupboard and can't see me. So I guess it was a cat. Goosey goosey gander. Goosey goosey gander, whither shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs, and in my lady's chamber. There I met an old man who would not say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. That's a good one, right? English. Little Jumping Joan. Here am I, little jumping Joan. When nobody's with me, I'm always alone. Perfect. Why don't we read the classics anymore, guys? I don't understand. There was a crooked man. There was a crooked man, and he went a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence upon a crooked stile. He brought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a crooked little house. Poor Dog Bright. Poor Dog Bright ran off with all his might, because the cat was after him. Poor Dog Bright. Poor Cat Fright ran with all her might, because the dog was after her. Poor Cat Fright. Guess they're after each other. Think that's one. Okay. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Says Simple Simon to the pieman, "Let me taste your ware." Says the man to Simple Simon, "Do you mean to pay?" Says Simon, "Yes, of course I do." And then he ran away. Perfect. Sing a song of sixpence. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in the counting house, counting all his money, or counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes. Then came a little dicky bird and popped up on her nose. Bet you didn't know that version. There we go. Let's see. The Nurse's Song. Man, this is going to be a tough one. Dance a baby, did he die? What can mammy do with ye? Sit in the lap, give it some pap, and dance a baby diddy. Laugh my baby beauty, what will time do to ye? Furrow your cheeks, wrinkle your neck, so laugh my baby beauty. Dance my baby dear, dance my baby dearie, mother will never be weary. Frolic and play, now while ye may, so dance my baby dearie. Smile my baby bonny, what will time bring on ye? Sorrows and care, frowns and gray hair, so smile my baby bonny. That's kind of nice. I might have read it out of order, but it still sounded kind of nice. 6 Little Snails. Once again, never heard of this before in my life. 6 little snails lived in a tree. Johnny threw a big stone. Down came 3. The King of France. The King of France and 4,000 men drew their swords and put them up again. I guess they're making fun of the King of France. My lady whined. My lady whined. My lady whined. Went round about the house to find a chink to get her foot in. Her foot in. She tried a keyhole in the door. She tried a crevice in the floor, and drove the chimney soot in, the soot in. And then one night, when it was dark, she blew up such a tiny spark that all the house was pothered. From it she raised up such a flame as flamed away to Belting Lane, and Whitecross folks were smothered. And thus, my little dears, a whisper reaches itching ears. The same will come, you'll find. Take my advice, restrain the tongue. Remember what old nurse has sung of busy lady wind, or busy lady wind, lady wind. Now, it could be My Lady Wind, but based off of Went Around the House to Find being the rhyme, I'm guessing it's Wind. And that's a song about losing your house to a house fire and the dangers of not cleaning out your chimney. That's what they're alluding to there. So that's deep subject matter there. The Feast of Lanterns. Ching-a-ring, ching, Feast of Lanterns. What a lot of chopsticks, bombs, and gongs. 24,000. Crinkarunkums all among the bells and ding-dongs. Is John Smith within? Is John Smith within? Yes, that he is. Can he set a shoe? I marry too. Here a nail, there a nail. Tic-tac-toe. Here a nail, there a nail. Tic-tac-toe. Never heard it, but sounds interesting. When the snow is on the ground. I really like these ones that show like vintage clothing. Like her little fur-lined coat there with the frill at the neck and the hats. Just really like the little details like that. And they always have little cute puppies and dogs in this one, which is cute. When the snow is on the ground, little Robin Redbreast grieves, for no one remembers, for no berries can be found, and on the trees there are no leaves. The air is cold, the worms are hid. For this poor bird, what can be done? We'll strew him here some crumbs of bread, and then he'll live till the snow is gone. So they're feeding the robins in the winter. Three little mice. 3 little mice crept out to see what they could find to have for tea. For they were dainty, saucy mice, and liked to nibble something nice. But Pussy's eyes, so big and bright, soon sent them scampering off in fright. 3 tabby cats went forth to mouse, and said, Let's have a gay carouse. For they were handsome, arctic cats, or active cats, and famed for catching mice and rats. But savage dogs, disposed to bite, these cats declined to encounter and fight. Little Tommy Tucker. Little Tommy Tucker, sing for your supper. What shall he sing for? White bread and butter. How can he cut it? Without any knife. How can he marry? Without any wife. Poor little Tommy Tucker. I know how it feels, bro. You know, even in the old days, everybody's everybody's getting along, having a good time. The north wind doth blow. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will poor Robin do? He'll sit in the barn and keep himself warm, and tuck his head under his wing. Poor thing. Just gonna take another sip of my water here. Sorry. The Man in the Moon. The man in the moon came down too soon, and asked his way to Norwich. He went by the south, and burnt his mouth with eating cold plum porridge. Sure, okay, yeah, everybody knows that one. The Man in the Moon, he burnt himself by eating cold plum porridge. Yep, yeah, English, you know? Oh, God. Taffy was a Welshman. Taffy was a Welshman. Taffy was a thief. Taffy came to my house and stole a piece of beef. Then I went to his house, and Taffy was from home. I returned the favor and stole a marrow bone. Come on. Oh, here we go. Classics. Come on, guys. Now, I know we've all heard this one. Hey, diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Classic. I love little pussy. I love little pussy. Her coat is so warm, and if I don't hurt her, she'll do me no harm. I sit by the fire and give her some food, and pussy will love me because I am good. It's a cute cat. With the bow. The old man clothed in leather. How's that for a picture? That tells you a whole bunch about everything going on at that time. How people looked at each other, what architecture was like, you know, what somebody of better class versus lower class looked like, you know. One misty, moisty morning, when cloudy was the weather, oh, there I met an old man, clothed all in leather, with a cap under his chin. Oh, how do you do? How do you do? Again, I shook his hand, a parting, though cloudy was the weather. This imbecile old party, clothed all in leather, with a cap under his chin. Oh, fare thee well, and fare thee well, and fare thee well again. Well, it's not so bad. I guess they just sort of run into each other and they say hello and goodbye. And, you know, I don't know why she had to call him an imbecile, but it probably has something to do with him being clothed all in leather and wearing a cap under his head, under his chin. There's something going on here. I don't know what it is. There's some innuendo there. Curly locks. Curly locks, will thou be mine? Thou shalt not wash dishes, nor yet feed the swine, but sit on a cushion, and sew a fine seam, and feast upon strawberries, sugar and cream. Hey, girl. Yeah, that's I like curly hair. There we go. The lazy cat. She is scolding that cat. He has been naughty. Pussy, where have you been today? In the meadows, asleep in the hay. Pussy, you are a lazy cat, if you have done no more than that. Three children sliding. Three children sliding on the ice, all on a summer's day. Say what? I'm sorry, what? It says it says three children sliding on the ice. Sliding on the ice all on a summer's day. Okay, we'll go with it. As it fell out, they all fell in. The rest they ran away. Now had these children been at home, or sliding on dry ground, 10,000 pounds to one penny, they had not all been drowned. You parents all the children have, and you too that have none, if you would have them safe abroad, keep them safe at home. That yikes. That's a song. Those are song lyrics from the time. Yikes. But I guess something must have happened. Some kids must have fallen through the ice, playing on it probably in the spring. You know what I mean? When it's like too thin. It sounds like some kids drowned. That's not good. You know what? I would even say that picture represents probably the family with the kid that drowned, probably. One of those two, you know? Whew. Yikes. Now, this says the Jolly Tester, Tester at the front. And I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Tester or Jester. I don't know, because based on the picture, they look like jesters, but at the same time, you know. Oh, my little sixpence, pretty little sixpence. I love a sixpence better than my life. I spent a penny of it. I lent another, and I took a fourpence home to my wife. Oh, my little fourpenny, pretty little fourpence. I love fourpence better than my life. I spent a penny of it. I lent another, and I took a twopence home to my wife. Oh, my little twopenny, or twopence, my pretty little twopence. I love a twopence better than my life. I spent a penny of it. I lent another, and I took nothing home to my wife. I don't know if it's Tester or Jester, you know? But that's an interesting one, for sure. Oh, it was, oh, my little nothing, my pretty little nothing. What will nothing buy for my wife? I have nothing. I spend nothing. I have nothing better than my wife. I love nothing better than my wife. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing. She doesn't look happy. Let's make sure we get a good shot of her. Yeah. Georgie Porgy. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the girls came out to play, Georgie Porgy ran away. Oh, poor Georgie Porgy. The Three Crows. The three crows were once who sat on a stone. Fa la 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 la, la la. But two flew away, and then there were none. Fa la 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 la, la la. The other crow felt so timid, alone, fa la 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 la, la la, that he flew away, and then there were none. Fa la 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 la, la la. There's another shot. The crow's flying away, but very nice detail. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'll show a full shot of the picture from top to bottom first. A little cock sparrow. He's got his little bow. And there's the sparrow up on the branch. A little cock sparrow sat on a green tree, and chirped, so merry was he. But a naughty boy came, with a small bow and arrow, determined to shoot. the little cock sparrow. This little cock sparrow shall make me a stew, said this naughty boy. Yes, and a little pie too. Oh no, said the sparrow, I won't make a stew. So he fluttered his wings, and away he flew. Good on you, cock sparrow. Good on you. Maggie's Pet. Sweet Maggie had a little bird, and Goldie was his name. And on her hand he used to sit, and was so very tame. Her rosy lips he'd often peck, which meant a loving kiss. Oh, I would not delight to have a pretty bird like this. A lump of sugar, sweet and white, would Maggie give her Dick, and then she'd watch how eagerly he'd fly to it and peck, and such a merry song he'd sing, to thank her for the treat. For little birds, like little girls, love something nice to eat. Holy cow, it keeps going, guys. Alas, one day, a hungry cat, with very spiteful eyes, beheld poor Goldie's open cage. Oh, what a glad surprise! So mewing loud with cruel glee, she spread her wicked claws, and soon the tender little bird was fixed within her jaws. I do not care how much our darling Maggie cried, or how she kissed the empty cage. The day poor birdie died, one little golden feather soft, I knew she'd treasure yet. 'Twas all the cruel spiteful cat did leave of Maggie's pet. Jeez, poor kid. Had your pet bird eaten by a cat, and then they wrote a song about it? That's pretty rough. Wow, okay. The Death and Burial of Cock Robin. How's that for a picture? I'm going to go from the top to the bottom here and just show the level of detail on all of that. You know? They don't make them like they used to. The Death and Burial of Cock Robin. Who killed Cock Robin? I, said the sparrow. With my bow and arrow, I killed Cock Robin. Who saw him die? I saw the I, said the fly. With my little eye, I saw him die. Who caught his blood? I, said the fish. With my little dish. And you've got the fish with the dish, the sparrow, that's probably Cock Robin, right? And there's the fly, right? I caught his blood. Who will make his shroud? I, said the beetle. With my thread and needle, I'll make his shroud. Who will bear the torch? I, said the linnet, who came in a minute. I'll bear the torch. Who will be the clerk? I, said the lark. I'll say amen in the dark. I'll be the clerk. Who'll dig his grave? I, said the owl. With my spade and shell, I'll dig his grave. Who'll be the parson? I, said the rook. With my little book, I'll be the parson. Right? The owl with his shovel, the beetle with the shroud. I'm guessing this is the rook with the book, right? I don't know which one is supposed to be the one saying amen. Maybe that one, right? Who will be chief mourner? I, said the dove. I mourn for my love. I'll be chief mourner. And we go back. See if we can find the dove. There we go. Who will sing his dirge? I, said the thrush. As I sing in a bush, I'll sing his dirge. Here. Who will carry his coffin? I, said the kite. If it be in the night, I'll carry his coffin. That's a kite. I know a kite is a bird of prey, so I'm guessing that's the coffin, right? Who'll toll the bell? I, said the bull, because I can pull, I'll toll the bell. There's the bull, pulling the bell. Yep, the bell underneath. All the birds of the air fell singing and sobbing, or sighing and sobbing, when they heard the bell toll for the poor cock robin. There's all the birds up at the top. That's a really nice rendering of that, to have it with the lyrics. Lullaby. When little birdie by goes, quiet as mice in churches, he put his head where no one knows. One leg he perches, with little baby by goes, on mamma's arms reposing. Soon he lies beneath the clothes, safe in the cradle dozing. When pretty pussy goes to sleep, tail and nose go together. Then little mice round her creep, lightly as a feather. When little baby goes to sleep, and he is very near us, then on tiptoe softly creep, that baby may not hear us. Lullaby, lullaby, lullaby. Mother Tabby Skins. Sitting at a window, in her cloak and hat, I saw Mother Tabby Skins, a real old cat. Very old, completely crumplety and lame. There's a word. Where is it? Crumplety. Crumplety and lame, teaching kittens how to scold. But is it not a shame? See if there's more to this one. Yep. Kittens in the garden, looking in her face, learning how to spit and swear. Oh, what a disgrace. Very wrong, very wrong, very wrong and bad. Such a subject for our song makes us all too sad. Old Mother Tabby Skins, sticking out her head, gave a howl and then a yowl, and hobbled off to bed. Very sick, very sick, very savage too. Pray send for Doctor quick. Anyone will do. Dr. Mouse came creeping to her bed, lanced her gums and felt her pulse and whispered she was dead. Very sly, a real old cat. Open kept her weather eye, Mouse, beware of that. Old Mother Tabbyskin, saying serves them right, gobbled up the doctor with infinite delight. Very fast, very pleasant too. What a pity it can't last. bring another do. Dr. Dog came running, just to see her bags, round his neck a comforter, trousers on his legs. Very grand, golden-headed cane, swinging gaily from his hand, mischief in his brain. Where is this going? Oh, I guess we don't find out. Or no, wait, here we go. It continues. Here's Dr. Dog. Dear Mother Tabbyskins, how are you now? Let me feel your pulse. So, show your tongue, bow wow. Very ill, please attempt to purr. Will you take to light or pill? Which would you prefer? Would you take a draught or pill? Which do you prefer? Ah, Mother Tabbyskins, who is now afraid? Oh, poor little Dr. Mouse, you a mouthful made. Very, very nice, very nice. Jeez. Little Doctor he, but for Dr. Dog's advice, you must pay the fee. Dr. Dog comes near, says she must be bled. I hear Mother Tabbyskin screaming in her bed. Very near, scuffling out and in. Dr. Dog, full and queer, where is Tabbyskin? I will tell the moral, without any fuss. Those who lead the young astray always suffer thus. Very nice, let our conduct be, for doctors are not mice, some are dogs, you see. Interesting. Jeez, what the heck is this? The Spider and the Fly. I guess that's supposed to be a spider? And that's a fly? I don't know. Will you walk into my parlor, said a spider to a fly. It is the prettiest parlor that you ever did spy. You've only got to pop your head just inside of the door. You'll see so many curious things you never saw before. Will you walk in, pretty fly? Will you walk in, pretty fly? Pretty fly, pretty fly. My fine house is always open, said the spider to the fly. I'm glad to have the company of all I see go by. They come in, but don't come out again. I've heard of you before. Oh, yes, they do. I always let them out at my back door. Will you walk in, pretty fly? Will you walk in, pretty fly, pretty fly? Will you grant me one sweet kiss, dear, said the spider to the fly, to taste your charming lips? I have a curiosity. Says the fly, if our lips did meet, a wager I would say, or a wager I would lay, of 10 to 1 would not after let them come away. Will you walk in, pretty fly? Will you walk in, pretty fly, pretty fly? If not, kiss. Will you shake hands then? Said the spider to the fly, before you leave me to myself, with sorrow sad to sigh. Says the fly, if nothing so attractive unto you belongs, I declare you should not touch me, even with a pair of tongs. Will you walk in, pretty fly? Will you walk in, pretty fly, pretty fly? Oh, what handsome wings you've got, said the spider to the fly. If I had only such a pair, in the air I would fly. But 'tis useless my ripening and only idle talk. You can fly up in the air, while I'm obliged to walk. Will you walk in, pretty fly? Will you walk in, pretty fly? I'm guessing. Yep. For the last time now I ask you, will you walk in, Mr. Fly? No, if I do, I may be shot. I'm off, so now goodbye. Goodbye. Then up he springs, but both his wings were in the web caught fast. The spider laughed and Aha, my boy, I have you safe at last. Will you walk out, pretty fly? Will you walk out, pretty fly? And there he's got him. He's got him trapped. Come on. Just a few left. Okay. Oh, wow. Tell me how, pray, how are you now? Says the spider to the fly. You fools never wisdom get, unless you dearly buy. 'Tis vanity that ever makes repentance come too late. And you who into cobwebs run, right well deserve your fate. Listen, 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 foolish little fly. Listen to me, foolish, foolish little fly. Little fly, little fly. So now all young folks take warning of this foolish little fly. The spider's name is Pleasure. To catch you he will try. Though you may think my advice quite poor, you're lost if you're standing parleying outside Pleasure's door. Remember, remember the foolish little fly. Remember, remember the foolish little fly. Now, here's our fly captured. I am not promoting this as a message. This is some ancient puritanical stuff I don't agree with, but we're just looking at it for historical sake, okay, folks? Oh, God. Ah. The Thievish Mouse. A story sad I've got to tell about a little mouse with bright brown eyes who used to scamper up and down the house. No cheese was safe, no birthday cake on either shelf or on ground, for mouse would surely find it out and nibble it all round. I cannot tell you how each night this naughty mouse would roam, her little nose thrust into things she should have left alone. It matters not where they put it, in cupboard or on shelf. This cunning mouse would sniff them out and coolly help herself. And Aunt Mary said, "It is of no use to hide the cakes and pies, for someone finds them all and slyly feasts upon the prize. A thief there surely is, secreted somewhere in the house, but Grandpa, the old wise man, declared it was a mouse. Said he, 'We'll get a trap, and then soon you will find I'm right. Just toast a bit of cheese and make ready for two.' For tonight, and when our little friend arrives, and prepared to help herself, she'll find instead of pie and cake, there's mischief on the shelf. She'll find instead of pie and cake, there's mischief on the shelf. Poor mousie, little did she think, while scampering along, how dearly she would have to pay that night for doing wrong. Tasted pie and cake, then seized the cheese with eager greed. Alas, the trap closed the spring, and she was caught indeed. Now, little folks, believe me, when you do a wicked thing, sometime or other, it is sure its punishment to bring. And nothing can be worse, you know, people small or grown, than of taking anything which is not quite their own. You see, if Mouse had stayed at home, and cared to pry and peep, and had not trotted out to steal while others were asleep, she'd now have alive and well, and happy with her friends, instead of being caught and killed to prove how stealing ends. And there we have a picture of her stealing the cake, and I believe that's the last one. We get our nice little Novello and Company embellishment on the back, and that is National Nursery Rhymes set to music by J.W. Eliot and illustrated by the brothers Dalziel. So if you guys enjoyed that, please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff next time for YouTube, and I will see what else we can find that's kind of up this alley with illustrations and wood cuttings for future episodes. So we'll see you next time, and yeah, thanks for joining me.